I'm down! Get him!
No one cares what I'm
Get him!
doing.
Get him! Get him! That's me, you idiots! That's me! So we've decided to do a wrap-up at the end of every session, just to touch on anything that came up during the game. And this is what follows. Yeah, so pretty much just thoughts, feelings, as it's like a new system. It's kind of the old system, but in space. Like, what did you find that was good? What did you find was bad? I mean, we had a couple of hours to play with it, but I mean, we had one combat encounter. We didn't touch the space combat mechanics yet. That'll be next session. But like from here, like what did you think that was good? What do you think was bad? What do you think that? No, just what do you think of it?
I didn't get much of it, but the system felt like Saga. It does feel very Saga-esque.
Okay.
That's not a bad thing either.
It's not a bad thing. It's
No,
just
it's a good
it's
thing.
very similar to the system.
Saga
I enjoyed
was
Saga.
amazing.
Actually, the books are insanely expensive now.
I think to be honest, I actually prefer Saga. I think a bit more, but because I know I'm playing the Jedi equivalent class. But I feel like I guess because everything relies so heavily on attunement, the only things I'm not too keen on with Solarian, I guess this is just class specific stuff, not overall, but class specific. Just I have to micromanage my level of attunement during combat. I have to there's a bit more micromanagement, which isn't just a Pathfinder problem in general.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying, but I mean, but system-wise, yeah, it's fine. You know, works and everything. I think. Just trying to think what else. I guess. I mean,
having the separate AC bonuses, EAC, KAC, all of that stuff like that. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's good and bad. Like, there's no like having two ACs means there's more to keep track of. But
I think it's completely horseshit. I think it's completely horseshit.
I also agree. I dislike the double ACs. But...
I'll tell you why. It's not because there's just more than one defense, right?
Right.
It's because they're both basically the same thing, and there's actually no sort of builds that actually have different sorts of resistances versus one over the other or anything like that. If you just look at the light armor and heavy armor equipment trees, right? They literally all just scale up together. So you always just end up with EAC being like 2 points less or something. So there's just no point in having two different defenses. It literally offers no value. It's just an extra fucking number to keep track of, which is, again, another stupid thing that Pathfinder has a problem with. And they didn't really. I think they just didn't really consider it. I think if
so
they.
This is like a piezo issue. Like it's prevalent in more than just Starfinder.
No, it's just Starfinder.
Yeah, well, this is something in Pathfinder. Well, no,
Is it in Pathfinder? Is it in Pathfinder Second Edition?
No, it's not. It's just it's keeping track of unnecessary numbers is a piezo problem, but this specific problem is piezo is Starfinder only. Yes.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, worst case scenario, if it is literally just going to be a case of light armor, heavy armor, you end up with really minuscule amounts of differences. I mean, that is something that can be dealt with possibly if we have more access to more source material, or even if we were to homebrew different things to give more scaling, so it feels more important.
I don't want to break the system. I mean, to be honest, they've got armor upgrade slots anyway, so I think you can get a bit of difference with that. So it's not that. It's just like, to be honest, what I guess what my point is if you just combined the ACs and just said there's one AC, right? It would just feel the exact same. It wouldn't feel any like there's any less content because it's basically.
Gotcha.
Are there no armors though that have like a great disparity?
Differences. Some of them have like 3 apart from the EAC and KAC, and then some of them are like 2 points away from each other. And it's literally like because they're trying to do basically it's like MMO balancing. That's what it feels like. Like when you look at the armor, it's like, oh, the ones with 1 point of AC more just have an extra 5 movement penalty or an extra armor check penalty or something like that. It's like really it's like really small stuff just for the sake of 1 extra point of AC. So it's like it's not really. I don't know. It just doesn't add anything, to be honest, because usually for whatever your build is, it's an obvious
Okay,
choice.
so
If you have one less point of max dexterity,
so you're seeing it
just
as for like
everyone.
unnecessary clutter.
yeah, that's
Okay,
all it
yeah,
is.
fair
Yeah.
dues. And then Alan, as somebody who's got like a metric ton of like Pathfinder base experience, what would you say is like the comparison from Pathfinder 1 to this? Is it pretty
It's
black and white, or is it
it's a lot simpler in some areas. I do find the KAC EAC difference almost pointless.
same point?
I understand why it is the way that it is, but I still feel like it would have been better to employ touch.
So,
Then
gotcha.
again,
So go back to the touch and flat-footed.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't maybe not flat-footed. But then again, the thing about that is that if you did employ touch as it was, it would overpower laser weapons because they would hit on touch.
Yeah,
So they'd hit all of
they'd
it.
hit everything.
So why would you ever use anything else?
Yeah. and then
What they did very well in Saga, right, was they had personal energy shields. So
Yes.
it would have DR versus energy weapons specifically. So those overpowered energy weapons would be blocked against those, but people with like simple weapons, like a regular sword, would do slightly less base damage, but it would go through those shields. So those things actually mattered. It was pretty good.
Okay. Oh, fair dues. So overall, not bad, not amazing. Doesn't rewrite the rule book on like sci-fi based.
Setting far better than system.
Yeah, setting better than gotcha. That makes sense. All right. So but fun.
Oh yeah, it's enjoyable. It's fun.
Fun was had.
You could definitely feel the difference between the two magic casters.
Yes, no, that is true. There's definitely a real difference in like capability, what they were running at type situation. All right, cool. So yeah, so overall was fun.
How did you feel about it though?
Me, from a DMing perspective, I don't have a ton of experience DMing Pathfinder. I fell in love with 3.5, ran 3.5 for years, and then begrudgingly switched to Pathfinder for a minute, and found it oversimplified. A lot of the stuff that made 3.5 fun, and I kind of found it a bit clunky. But it's just weird because people always find 3.5 to be clunky, but I found it being overcomplicated means you could find the easier route, as opposed to the easier route being the only route, despite it may or may not be the clunkier route, as it were.
I think
I'm calling 3.5 more complicated.
No,
3.5, the system mechanics in 3.5 are more complicated than the system mechanics in Pathfinder.
It's Daryl. I think I get where he's coming from though, because what my experience with 3.5, right? I do prefer Pathfinder, but with 3.5, it's so loosey goosey.
Yep.
With what you could do with characters, like the build possibilities are endless, like monkey grip and bullshit like that. And
yeah, it was clunky and
you
very
turn
expansive.
anything into anything.
Yeah, and it gave a lot of freedom to for a lot less of this. If you're not doing it this way, then you lose, which I despise that in all RPG elements. I really hate you have to if you're not doing this class this way with this thing and this that and this that, then you're underpowered, and if we run the game as standard, you're going to die. Which again, that 9 times out of 10 that boils down to somebody who's DMing who is literally not looking at their party and going like, this person has pros and cons here, this person has pros and cons here, and then catering the encounters to make it balanced. But there are some systems that really cater to the min-max kind of, this is how it's got to be run. Like don't run a ranger, run a fighter with a bow, it's way better. And then like all this weird kind of stuff that always boils out with, that happens with a lot of systems, not just with Pathfinder. Because I find that with some things in 5e are have to be done a certain way.
The ranger always suffers that problem, no matter what
system you're in. Yeah. It's true.
Jake,
You're not wrong.
I was gonna say, you just reminded me of your fucking cleric build in my campaign, one-shotting everything with the fucking lightning.
I'm sorry.
Why
but
did we?
but
Why did we
cool,
recommend this to
cool,
him?
cool lightning Tempest
Cool
Cleric
lightning.
was,
It was like
so broken.
Cool
So
lightning.
broken.
It was so stupid.
Wait, are we outside?
Like,
Every
literally,
encounter started with, "What's the weather like?"
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it
good.
was.
The minute it's raining, the minute DM says it's raining, smells like victory.
That's why Sam didn't break
you're
out into song
teleported
right then.
indoors. Like, yeah, literally, like
So suddenly here it
outdoor
does.
fires.
I blow a hole in the roof. All right, cool. So yeah, that was just a quick, brief rundown, and seems that it's system with pros and cons, and so far so good. So we'll keep going, and I'm sure we'll have more once we get into the starship fight mechanics. That could change the system entirely, because if I remember rightly, the Saga Edition starfighting was kind of all over the shop.
No, it was pretty alright. We did it loads of times.
Yeah, but it was not. There was not as much in it as with Starfighter.
Sorry, what was all over the place?
She says the starship comes from Saga.
starship battling mechanics
Oh,
We're
there's
not-
actually
we're not as, like,
they actually
inclusive.
changed that.
Oh, really?
They changed it so that
I've played Saga in
they
years.
had like they had role based combat now.
Mm.
So everyone would basically be a gunner, a pilot, this or that, and it's pretty good now. Yeah,
Okay, so
changed it.
so it's gone in a similar vein as this starship combat is looking up to. With
Yeah,
different
I
roles,
actually
different...
I think Starfinder combat actually because Saga's a bit is
Saga-
starting to
Saga.
get
Oh,
quite ancient. Yeah,
Guys, sorry, the EAC KAC, the power armor, it really matters.
for power armor.
Yeah, for power armor, like the Jarl Slayer armor, its EAC bonus is an 18, its KAC is a 24.
Hmm.
For the flight frame, EAC bonus 12, KAC 19.
So
For the
power-
cargo lifter, there's no EAC bonus, it's only KAC.
But dude, the problem with this is that this isn't going to be used for like power armor isn't something frequently used.
Well, my
It's not
my character's fighting style is based around wearing power armor.
Yeah, but it doesn't. They don't last for ages, right? They like if you have to travel any significant distance, it's sort of like a toss up, depending on the situation you're in, whether you even get to use it for that combat. Because
I think there's a battle harness or something like that. I don't think you have to necessarily have it like activated on you all the time. You can carry it.
No, power armor, Dean, you are
it takes
wearing
ages
it.
to don. Yeah, and then it has to be
I-
powered for you to even move in it because it's like Space Marine armor and it's like wearing a tank.
I think maybe it would come down to having it equipped on the vessel so that you can get into it and then drop,
Come down. Yeah.
like drop,
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
like shock
the-
troops.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. It's going to be used for like specific
It's
planned missions.
it's a situational thing.
Man, I can't fucking wait to get into that.
It's gonna be fun doing some shock troop drop missions. Is gonna be pretty entertaining. All right, cool. So I guess
I can't wait to get into some sort of like net runner situation where I'm just going to shine.
Gonna be going beyond the black wall and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, final thoughts. Good system.
Yeah,
I
it's
enjoy
good.
it.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
good
needs to
system.
get used to a little
I
bit
feel
of it.
like we'll know more when we get to like level 5 about it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
level 1's
Probably
very
put
hard to
some
judge
more-
anything.
We need
some
to level a little bit.
more time into it.
I think
See
I
how the
think it-
abilities interact, see how things flow a bit more. Once you get to like level 5, then yeah, we'll know more.
Yeah, we'll have a lot
I think-
more combat experience by then.
it could be the worst system in the entire world, and I'd still enjoy it because I get to play Black Silver.
True.
Yeah, I was
Again,
gonna
same.
say like it's really only half the game, Jake, because the character sheets. I mean, I know skills have an impact on the RP stuff, but like, because it's Starfinder, the majority of the stats are for combat. So,
Mhm.
so yeah.
It's definitely a combat orientated. All right, cool. All right, well that's a wrap, and we'll be back next time for episode 2. See what people get up to, and we'll go from there. So, give us a like, hit subscribe, and there's more content to come.